I am not going to be able to give you all of this dream in 10 minutes, so I'm going to say what I can say as quickly as I can. I have done it over and over and tried to get the majority in, but let me say this. I had a dream last night of money, unexpected money coming in, and stay with me in the spirit, please, because a lot of it is not going to sound like what it is that you think that it ought to sound like. But I had a dream that my mother, who does not play the picket, had won the lottery. She played her birthday, and playing her birthday, she ends up winning. She played it 3 times, and she won a massive amount of money. Now, with her winning this massive amount of money, what she did was she called all of her children to her. Not together all at once, but she called them to her one by one and gave them a portion of her winnings. She moved out of her house, and my mother moved into a hotel. She moved into a hotel to be in a comfortable place where she could gather her thoughts, figure out what she needs to do with this money, how her life has changed, and just really gather around this wealth that she received. After she gave each one of us a large portion of the money, I went and I put my money up in a safe place. But I went back to the hotel to spend some time with my mother. So my mother, what she did was she sent me on an assignment to the closet. She had taken the money and putting the money on the top shelf in the closet, some of the money, and she put $100,000 on the top shelf. And the way that she had it organized, she had the big bills in the front and the big bills in the back, but in the middle of the money she had fives and singles. So she sent me to the closet and told me to get 2 fives and 2 singles. I went to the closet, I got 2 fives, 2 singles out of the middle of the money with no problem. A concierge came in to wish my mother greetings and welcome her into the hotel, but I was still in the closet. So after the concierge left, I thought about, oh, we didn't give her a tip. So I went back into the money, and stay with me in the spirit. I went back into the money to get a $5 bill in order to give to the concierge for a tip. But I couldn't find a 5 because it was all big bills after I took out the bills that I had taken out. So I go back into the room where my mother is. When I go back into the room, my god brother is there. So my god brother found out that my mother hit the lottery, and he was there to rob her. So he came in and he robbed her, and he took the $100,000 that was on the shelf. Now this is important too. The $100,000 that she had on the shelf, it was not stacked horizontally. It was stacked vertically, and I hope I got that right. But the way it was laid out on the top shelf, it was laid out this way and not high, so I could get the money out easily stacked on the shelf. But when he took the $100,000, he walked past a curio cabinet, and I saw the curio cabinet. It was glass, it was clear, I could see right through it. There were gems and precious diamonds and just different types of jewelry that was in the curio cabinet, but there was just one ring that stood out, and the ring was made of like this pure rich silver, maybe platinum, but it had a blue sapphire diamond in the setting, or blue, I don't know whether it was a diamond, but it was blue, it was a sapphire, and it was set in the ring, and it stood out. So then I went back to my mother after I snapped out of gazing at what was in the curio cabinet, and I said to my mom, I said, well, what are you gonna do? And she said, oh, don't worry about that, that's nothing, that amount that he took, that's nothing. And I realized that she had won a whole lot more, which he thought that it was just $100,000, but she had already given us portions of it out of the money that she had received. So I knew that it wasn't $100,000 because there was $100,000 in the closet. But she said, don't worry, things are already in the working for me to even get that back. So she was going to get back what it is that he stole as well. Now, I got ready to leave. And when I got ready to leave after I spent some time with my mother, it must have been some days that passed, but my brother, I was leaving out to go down into the garage, I guess to my car to leave, but I was met by my god brother and his little bully friends, and they wanted my inheritance because they had my money, my blessing, because they had already must have spent what my mother had, what they had stolen from my mother, and didn't think that she had any more. So they met me in a place, and the doors on the in the parking garage, it was like a saloon type of area, where the doors just go open and shut like a flap or something, but he invited me in, and I said no, and I turned around and went to run from him. And when I went to run from him, all of his gang came out and they came at me. And when they came at me, it was this big demon that looked like a bodybuilder, but it looked like a pit bull in the face. And it had a lollipop in his mouth, and he had a ring on his finger, and he reared his right hand back with the ring on his finger to knock me out. And the impact, like I could see the impact that was coming, even though I didn't feel it, because as soon as he reared his hand back and he got ready, I woke up and I heard God say to me, don't lose your inheritance. So what was he saying? You can't run from the enemy. It's not an option to run from the enemy. You have to turn around and face that joker. Stand in our power and in our authority, because this is the time of the inheritance. And if we allow the enemy to come in, the enemy will steal the inheritance. There is much more. But what we have been given, to whom much is given, much is required. And in what we have to steward, maintain, manage, and make sure that the enemy does not come in and steal, rob, and destroy, kill, and take the things that God has placed in our hand when we are called to multiply it. Now, the curio cabinet with the ring in it, the signet ring, the ring of who we are, of who we belong to. Wealth is not in the greenbacks that the world and the people who attack us, they want the greenbacks. They want the money. They want the lifestyle. They want the luxury that come along with that. But you don't let them have that either. It's devaluing, but you don't let the enemy take nothing from you. The true value is in the curio cabinet. It's in the wealth that you have. It's in the wealth of who you are. It's in what God has called you to do, the things that you are skilled, equipped, and prepared to do. One of the things that God has been teaching me on these platforms is that a lot of people, they comment and say, you are a wealth of knowledge. You are a wealth of wisdom. And I get it a lot, you know. And I hear God with the confirmation saying this is what true wealth is. True wealth is not in the greenbacks that everybody, you know, focuses on. I'm going to steal you and I'm going to take the money from you. But there is currency that nobody can steal from you. And it's in a safe place. And we have to see it in the lens, through the vision of what the true wealth is, in the cabinet, in the place where it is. And that true wealth gives us power to get wealth and makes us wealthy. When we use our voice, when we use who we are, the light and the life of the things that we have in us to bring about wealth. Not just in greenbacks, but nothing missing, nothing broken. But wealth also includes greenbacks, which is money, currency. But there is so much more. We live in the shalom, shalom, the grace, nothing missing, nothing broken, the peace, the favor of God. But the true wealth is in who we are and what we have already within us. And when we multiply that wealth, we're multiplying and expanding the kingdom, which is our assignment. But when we run from the enemy knows that we don't know the power that we have. So we get knocked out. And when we get knocked out, he steals and takes what belongs to us. And we no longer have the power, the influence, the impact to do what it is that we need to do to represent the kingdom in excellence, because we have been robbed while being on the run. When we have the power and the authority to just speak, and they must flee. Speak the name of Jesus and use the authority that we have. But we're on the run and caught up in greenbacks and what looks like it is the true inheritance and wealth when it's just paper. And there are many of us who are going to lose the whole battle because we don't understand the psychology of money, or how money works, and what true wealth and what true abundance and what the truth is. So we're running from the enemy and mismanaging and not handling and squandering and wasting wealth, when true wealth comes from within first. We are abundant. We are abundance. And when we exude and we use what we have, it gives us the power to get wealth. And we are never alone, because there are many of us, the enemy sees us and thinks that we are alone, when we got a whole host of angels, soldiers, warriors all around us, because we are king's kids, and king's kids are highly protected. But we have to use the angels that we had to